is another very short journey into the world of Thomas Moore, one of his best known melodies, called Oft in the Stilly Night. Oft in the stilly night, ere slumber's chain hath bound me, fond memory brings the light of other days around me. The smiles, the tears of boyhood years, the words of love then spoken, the eyes that shone, now dimmed and gone, the cheerful hearts now broken. Thus in the stilly night, ere slumber's chain hath bound me, sad memory brings the light of other days around me. When I remember all the friends so linked together, I've seen around me fall like leaves in wintry weather. I feel like one who treads alone some banquet hall deserted, whose lights are fled, whose garlands dead, and all but he departed. Thus in the stilly night, ere slumber's chain hath bound me, sad memory brings the light of other days around me.
Michael Hartnett was born in Croom, County Limerick in 1941. He wrote poetry in English and in Irish. He struggled with alcoholism all his life, and he died in 1999. This is a poem he wrote about his grandmother. Death of an Irish Woman by Michael Hartnett. Ignorant in the sense she ate monotonous food and thought the world was flat, and pagan in the sense she knew that things that moved at night were neither dogs nor cats, but pukas and dark-faced men. She nevertheless had fierce pride, but sentenced in the end to eat the diminishing porridge in a stone-cold kitchen, she clenched her brittle hands around a world she could not understand. I loved her from the day she died. She was a summer dance at the crossroads. She was a card game where a nose was broken. She was a song that nobody sings. She was a house ransacked by soldiers. She was a language seldom spoken. She was a child's purse full of useless things.
The legendary John Denver has to have been one of America's most prolific and indeed most loved singer-songwriters, very popular in the 1970s. Born in 1943 in New Mexico, I think, he was tragically killed while piloting his own airplane in 1997. One of his most popular songs was Any Song. Now, I'm no John Denver, But they say God loves a trier. Isn't that right, Marianne? God loves a trier. So here I am going to try any song. You fill up my senses like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Come let me love you, let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter, let me die in your arms. Let me lay down beside you, let me always be with you. Come let me love you, come love me again. You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again.
True. I never heard of Joe Lynch and Chris Curran doing a duet, but I was told before the show that you do a duet.
Oh, they're high-class musicians.
Really?
We grew up in the same place, sir.
What? How did the duet come about? I mean, what do you do?
I don't know. It's, I suppose, out of sheer boredom. You know, we had no television in those days, you know. No, see, actually, we were never bored. You know that? You know, out where we come from now, there was no television. One radio set to a street in the time, you know. And it was great fun. We were never bored.
Do you want to do
this fellow was always playing instruments, you see.
Yeah,
anything except the tin whistle.
Except the tin
I had to teach him that. It took me a whole half an hour to teach him what I learned in 10 years. He's slow, you know. He's very dim.
Do you want to do the duet? This is good now. This is very high-class stuff now. Could we have a bit of hush for this, because this is very serious.
I don't worry about this. It's insured. Slower, bye. Now, Michael McGilligan, one fine day, got a lot of money from the USA, all to the death of his Uncle Joe. He was left $1.5 million or so, says McGilligan. I'll give a fancy ball down at the old ancestral hall. Invited the neighbors, everyone, to join in the frolic and to have some fun. Down to Mick McGilligan's ball, where they had to tear the paper off the wall to make room for all the people in the hall. All the girls and the boys made the dimple of a noise at Mick McGilligan's ball. ran away to Mick McGilligan's ball. Now all of the neighbours came from near and far. Slattery arrived in a motor car, and now Mrs. Riley, bless her heart, landed on the doorstep in an ass and cart. McGilligan arrived by aeroplane, begot you will never see the likes again. And up went the cheer when the two Skins came along at the gallop with the two Miss Quins. So they all went down to Mick McGilligan's ball, when they had to tear the paper off the wall to make room for all the people in the hall. All the girls and the boys made the dimple of a noise at Mick McGilligan's ball.
There's talent for it.
Getting old. The only thing they didn't do was the dance. Lads, he forgot to do that. He had a dance rehearsed.
We're worn down, but we're not worn out.
Level crossing. I was the keeper of the railway gates, the custodian of crossings, north and south, making Ford prefects, Morris miners wait on their way to shops or public house, delaying carts taking home turf or hay, stalling drovers with knots of restless cows. I handled the iron bolts like a jailer, opened and closed with ease, then aloof stood and waited as the evening train trundled down the incline from Knockadoo, whistled as it passed before it climbed to Liney. I smiled, let the waiting through. I knew my talents early, to keep time, to ignore the sour faces of those delayed, to perform a menial task with genuine zeal and authority. I would have stayed, but foreseeing the bigger picture, demise of steam, closure of those little railways, I packed, deserted, travelled east, arrived at complex crossings where day by day I adjusted to my little place, survived. So now I'm stranded here, without a gate to mind, whistle to salute, driver to hail, with more than time enough to contemplate my abdication. On nights disturbed by gales, I count the cost, the bolts that have rusted, the crossings untended, and the details of goods and passenger timetables lost. Sometimes I hear a voice, a child far off, beseeching my return, to search in dust for a key, to open bolts, allow the cars and carts, the final steam train through, then follow, leaving all the gates ajar.
Here's an old-time waltz, and Mary Ann, mind the dresser. I was dreaming of old Ireland and Killarney's lakes and dells. I was dreaming of the shamrock and the dear old Shandon bells, when my memory suggested in a vision bright and clear all the strange things that would happen if we had old Ireland here. If the Blarney Stone stood out on Sydney Harbour and Dublin town to Melbourne came to stay, if the Shannon River joined the Brisbane waters and Killarney's lakes flowed into Botany Bay, if the Shandon bells rang out in old Fremantle and County Cork in Adelaide did appear, errant sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home, if we only had old Ireland over here. There are lots of lovely lassies dancing on the village green. There are lots of lovely colleens, all the finest ever seen, where the boys are all called Paddy and the girls called Molly dear. Shall we drop the green flag round them if we had old Ireland here? If the Blarney Stone stood out on Sydney Harbour and Dublin town to Melbourne came to stay, if the Shannon River joined the Brisbane waters and Killarney's lakes flowed into Botany Bay, if the Shandon bells rang out in old Fremantle and County Cork in Adelaide did appear, errant sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home, if we only had old Ireland over here. If we only had old Ireland over here. Now I dedicate that to Peter, Eileen and the family in Australia. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.